Buenas noches a todos, soy pachi.valencia y bienvenidos nuevamente a Opinión Pública. Estamos de vuelta luego de casi un mes de ausencia porque estuve trabajando en un proyecto especial con The Epoch Times en español y que dentro de poco vamos a anunciar por Epoch TV, así que estén atentos. En este tiempo conversé con Mary Mohammadi. Ella es una activista cristiana de Irán que a su corta edad ha sido perseguida y arrestada por su fe. Por eso en 2022 ella escapó de Irán hacia los Estados Unidos, pero desde su plataforma, Mary sigue luchando por las víctimas del régimen iraní. Y es que todos recordamos las fuertes protestas que estallaron en Irán a mediados de septiembre. Miles de personas salieron a las calles de Teherán a protestar por la muerte de Mahsa Amini, una chica de 22 años que murió bajo custodia policial. Mahsa Amini fue detenida por no cumplir con el estricto código de vestimenta islámico para las mujeres. Según los recuentos, más de 300 personas han muerto en estos disturbios. Mientras tanto, el régimen de Irán ha culpado de los disturbios a Estados Unidos e Israel, aunque no ha dado prueba de estas afirmaciones. Conversé con Mary Mohammadi a mediados de octubre para saber cuál es la verdad sobre las manifestaciones y qué importancia tiene para Latinoamérica. Mary, thank you for joining Opinión Pública. You've been in contact with people that are protesting in Iran. Can you give us more insight on what's happening in your home country right now?
Yes, Mahsa Amini was arrested and murdered by morality patrol. She was a Kurdish woman and she traveled to Tehran temporarily. But after she was murdered, her family and other Kurdish people in Kurdistan province in Iran refused to be silent, and they decided to stand for her. And the first province the first province that decided to protest was Kurdistan province. And after that, other people in Iran, it was really inspiring for them that they are very united together. They joined them, and after that, we witnessed a nationwide protest in Iran. And I just want to review quickly some of the reactions of the Islamic Republic of Iran. One of them is attack to Kurdish people who are in Iraq. It was a kind of revenge because, as I said, the first province that started protest was Kurdistan province in Iran, and decades of people were murdered. And after that, the regime attacked people in Zahedan in Iran. They were Muslim worshippers that protested against the Mahsa Amini's murder and about the police commander who raped a 15-year-old girl. But the regime killed decades of them. And also, not just on the streets, even in universities, in schools, inside the jails, the people are protesting. And the regime attacked them even to the schools, and security guards arrested many schoolgirls, and even some of them were killed. And the regime set fire to 2 jails in Iran. One of them is Lakan in north of Iran, and the next one was Evin prison in Tehran. And many prisoners burned and died because I think because the regime wanted to switch the focus in media and create new news that the protest would be forgotten. And even the regime is using rebels who dress police officers. They are using soldiers from Hashd Shabi, that is an organization in Iraq that they use weapons, and also from Hezbollah based in Lebanon. And also they use ambulances and fire trucks to repress the protesters by using the right of way and attack the protesters unaware, and they shoot protesters inside ambulances. This is and also they use ambulances to transfer security guards. These things are not acceptable even in a war between countries, but the regime is doing all of that to repress the people who have no weapon even to defend themselves.
We've seen a massive wave of females standing up in the streets. What's their role in the protests, and how is the regime suppressing them?
Women from the beginning were under a heavy pressure, and they don't have any rights, and so they are full of pain and anger, and they are really leading the protest, not just in the ongoing protest, even in the previous protest. And this is their right, and it was predictable that they would be forefront in this, I can say, in this war that is between the regime and the people, because the regime, we don't think that it is a legitimate regime. They occupied our country, and but unfortunately, that even when the officers want to arrest women when they are in detention centers or everywhere, police officers use sexual violence to oppress them, and it means that the regime cannot see women as a leader. The regime wants to make women victims. That's it. And the regime cannot tolerate that. But women are fighting against the regime, and they are stronger than the regime, I think so.
And why is it important for you to use your platform right now to tell the world what's happening in Iran?
I believe that revolution is a teamwork, and it's not possible to make a revolution individually. And every of us has her or his own duties. And for example, when I was in Iran, I could participated in protests on the streets. For example, I participated in Bloody November 2019 and also in January 2020. And all of them were against the integrity of the regime. But now I'm in America and I can't go to streets in Iran. And now I decided to use my platforms to be their voice. And one of the other reason is that, the regime limited the internet in Iran, and they cannot share their opinions and their videos, their pictures to show what is going on in Iran. And this is my duty to do that. And I can say, I can give you an example that even converted Christians in Iran signed a statement, unprecedented statement. They are more than 300 Christians that wanted to show their anger and disagreement with the regime and their practical partnership in the ongoing protests, and saying welcome to the upcoming revolution. And the other reason, which is very important, is that some of journalists who are working for the regime but secretly, and they are defending the regime, and they are spreading their own opinions that the regime would like as the reality of in Iran. And so this is my duty to show what is the reality.
And when you mention journalists that are working indirectly with the regime, what are the greatest misconceptions or misinformation you think people are having about Iran?
Actually, their cooperation with the regime is not, in all cases, it's not indirectly, and in many cases this is directly. And we know many of them in detail. And one of them is that they misadvise to diplomats. For example, they say, this is right, true, that the protests in Iran is leaderless. And they claim that there is no alternative, and the people are afraid that what will happen after revolution. And they think maybe our country would be like Afghanistan, like Syria, and so it's not a good idea to make a complete revolution in Iran. Even people are worried about it. But I want to say, if people are worried about it, why they are in the streets, why they are protesting? And I want to say that this is really costly to protest in the streets. So this is not a game. They know what they are doing. They know what they want. And if they mean that alternative must be a well-known character in media, no, we don't think like that. We believe that every people who are capable to be involved in managing the country after revolution, they can do that. We don't need an angel that wants to come from the sky. We can use the people who are living in Iran or outside of Iran. Every person is capable, can do that. Every person is capable, is our alternative. This is not true, and also they claim that if other countries talk about the situation in Iran, it is interference, and the people of Iran don't like that. But this is not true, because it is cooperation. This is not interference. They are completely different, and there are many claims that people of Iran don't agree with that. But these are just some examples.
The Iranian regime has expanded its influence in Latin America. What would you say to these Hispanic nations?
I would like to mention that, yes, the regime is working in many countries and many areas around the world, not just Latin America, even in neighboring countries, in Syria, in as you said, Latin America, and even Ukraine. You know that the regime is funding many terrorist groups around the world. And also the regime sends armaments to Russia to kill more Ukrainians. Can you believe that? And this is really embarrassing. And before Taliban could reach the power in Afghanistan, the regime accepted them in our country and had negotiation in one room. This is embarrassing. And also about Hezbollah in Lebanon, the regime is funding them. And also the regime has cooperation with dictatorships like in Venezuela. And this is awful. And I want to say that many times defenders of the regime try to make fear that if we will make a revolution, I said our country would be like Afghanistan. But I want to say if we can make a complete revolution, the regime cannot funding them, cannot send them armaments, and even people in other countries can have a better life. And it's not logical to be afraid. And I want to say to people in Latin America that our fighting is not just for ourselves, and this revolution is not just an internal affairs. All people around the world are in danger because the regime is in power. And if we can make a complete revolution, it will bring freedom and safety for all people around the world. And I know that you are under pressure in Latin America because the regime is funding evil groups there. And if we can do it, even you can have better life. And so I want to say that we should try together to make it. And for example, if you would like to support the people, you can write in your social media. You can share the information to others, and you can be involved. And because your pain is our pain, and our pain is your pain, because we are human beings, and we can do it together.
Is there anything else you would like to mention about the protests in Iran right now, or something to alert the world about this?
Yes, there is a significant message to the world for governments and also for people. I want to say that unfortunately some governments are quiet about the situation of Iran. I want to say that we want to make a revolution, and after that we would like to have friendly relationship with other countries. and we don't want to be like the current regime. But the people are watching you now. What is your reaction to while they are suffering? And we definitely remember that. And also, the history will judge you. And my message and the message of people in Iran, the people in other countries, is that, you know, the people in Iran are alone. And on the other hand, there is an evil regime that has many weapons. But people are more powerful than every government. And if you are living in a country that the regime in your country is repressing you, I want to tell you that you can make it like us. And as I said, the revolution is not it cannot happen in one day or in one night. This is a process, and for years we are trying for that. This is not just for 1 week or for 1 week, but you know that this time we are in a second month that people are protesting, and but victory is for the people. And the life of dictatorships are shorter than other systems, but we know that no system could be stay in power forever, but victory is for people who are fighting for their rights.
All right. Thank you very much, Mary Mohammadi, for joining Opinión Pública.
Thank you for having me.
¿Y ustedes creen que estas protestas lleven a un cambio en Irán? ¿Y qué impacto creen que tienen estas manifestaciones en torno a la relación de Latinoamérica con el régimen iraní? Los leo debajo en los comentarios. No olviden también seguirnos por Telegram. El link lo encontrarán debajo en la descripción. Como siempre, gracias por acompañarnos cada miércoles en Opinión Pública. Hasta la próxima.